3 words. Trump's Epstein cover-up. Call it that. Never stop calling it that. Trump's Epstein cover-up. Short, pithy, correct. President Epstein keeps lying about the Trump files. Or is it the other way around? I think it's the other way around. Let's see.
President Trump has filed what he calls a powerhouse lawsuit over the Wall Street Journal's Jeffrey Epstein report. The libel suit, filed in the Southern District of Florida, names the paper's publisher, Dow Jones, and its owner, media mogul Rupert Murdoch. The president is seeking at least $10 billion in
$10 billion. $10 billion.
damages. Trump has downplayed his relationship with the convicted child sex offender, and in recent weeks, he's called the controversy surrounding the release of files in Epstein's sex trafficking case the Epstein hoax. But yesterday, following the president's order, the Justice Department filed a motion to unseal grand jury testimony related to Epstein.
So, are they unsealing grand jury testimony? Sure, but that's decided. What gets unsealed and when gets decided by the Attorney General, who is Pam Bondi, the Nazi. So she will only give you, drip feed you, the information that doesn't incriminate Donald Trump because she works for him. She loves him. She adores him. He is her Führer, and she will never release any information that makes him look bad. And we know this. Anybody with half a brain can see that that's what she does and that's how she operates and that's what she will do for the rest of forever. KBP's got a new one for you. Hit us, KBP. I love new theories. I've got a couple myself. So yeah, let's see what he said specifically recently. Let's bring it up on the screen. The radical left Democrats have hit pay dirt again, just like with the fake and fully discredited Steele dossier. The lying 51 intelligence agents. Why is he connecting this to the Steele dossier? Nobody's talked about that except for him for 10 years at least. Nobody gave a shit about it when it was new, but he keeps talking about it. Epstein did a face-off with Trump, maybe, and he's trying not to be in trouble. The lying 51 intelligence agents, he misunderstands every single thing that happened with that, and he lies constantly about them. The laptop from hell, again, came from Russia, was propaganda. Which the Dems swore had come from Russia. No, it came from Hunter Biden's bathroom. And even the Russia scam itself, totally fake and made up story used in order to hide crooked Hillary Clinton's big loss in 2016 presidential election. How did she hide? Bro, we know she lost. You became the president. What were they hiding? How was anything hidden? These scams and hoaxes are all the Democrats are good at. It's all they have. They are no good at governing. No, Christ, dude, no good at policy. Donnie has not done any policy anywhere. Nobody on the Republican side gives a flying fuck about policy. Mother of God. They're not in the policy game. They're in the power game. Democrats and neocons care about policy. Donnie's neither of those. He's a right-wing authoritarian. He cares about authority, power, and control. That's not policy. He disregards his own policies that he has set. He disregards his own trade policy. He makes it up willy-nilly. Every day he makes a new policy, and then he abandons it next week. Doesn't matter. Policy is of no value to him. Anybody arguing policy.
His fake news word association list practically needs a glossary at this point.
I know, and it's so hard to comprehend because you have to wade through every single sentence. Every single word of his is a different twist, a different turn, a different, like you're saying, requires a glossary. You're absolutely right. And to straighten this out makes your brain hurt. And his fans don't care about what is and isn't true. They just hear the jibber jabber and then click agree and give it a thumbs up and give it a like and then repeat it without knowing what any of the words mean. But yeah, anybody who's telling you about policy, we are not in a policy debate. We are not in policy space in this country right now. We're in power space. who has the power, who has the authority, who has the guns, and who has the men willing to use those guns on their opponents. That is where we live now. Policy, Jesus Christ. And they're no good at picking winning candidates. Also, unlike Republicans, they stick together like glue. Christ almighty, that's the opposite. That's literally the opposite of reality. Republicans never criticize any of their own. They stick together like glue. The Democrats are like herding cats. That's the old saying. The Dems are weak and the left is useless because they're all herding cats. They're all doing purity tests, kicking out somebody who's 1 degree different than them. Literally the opposite of reality. Their new scam is what we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. And my past supporters have bought into their bullshit, hook, line, and sinker. They have learned their lesson and probably never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 long years. I have had more success in 6 months than perhaps any president in our country's history, and all these people want to talk about the strong prodding by the fake news and the success-starved Dems is the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Let these weaklings continue forward and do the Democrats' work. Don't even think about talking of our incredible and unprecedented success because I don't want their support anymore. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. So he's mad at his supporters. He's mad at his own team, his own followers, his own faithful.
It really is all devil speak. It's wild.
It's insanely complicated to follow the train of thought because it is all over the world. It is circular, it's bent, it's backward, it's twisted, it is disturbed. He has his own lexicon that you have to learn. It's a language you have to learn. It's like learning a new language. You have to learn Trump speak. So yeah, he's mad at his own followers. He's mad at his own team. He's mad at the people who are supposed to be on his side for asking the question that he gave them. He gave them this issue. He promised to release those Epstein files. He has complained for 10 damn years about the Dems and the Epstein files and promised to bring them out. He gave this issue to his followers. He gave this gospel to his fellowship. And now he wants them to shut up about it. Now he wants them to be quiet about them. Now he wants to talk about anything else. But we shouldn't talk about anything else. This is exactly what we ought to be talking about. Call it Trump's Epstein cover-up. I put that in the title today. I'm going to put that all over the place. Trump's Epstein cover-up. 4 words, maybe 3 if you count cover-up as 1 word. Spell checker seems to think it's 1 word. That's a hyphenated word. 3 words. Trump's Epstein cover-up. Call it that. Never stop calling it that. Trump's Epstein cover-up. Short, pithy, correct. This is the first time his base has ever been willing to not go along with his horseshit lies. And we need to capitalize on it. This is the only time they've ever disagreed. This is the only time he's come out swinging against his own supporters. It's the only time his supporters have ever doubted him. They are faithful 99.9% of the time, and this is the 0.1%. We cannot give up on it. Do not give up on it. And the Dems, maybe they will do something about it. Some of them are, and some of them aren't. But let's keep looking at what is happening. So yeah, Trump disavows supporters pushing Jeffrey Epstein bullshit. I don't want their support anymore, he says. In a lengthy Truth Social post, Trump called supporters weaklings for pushing the Justice Department to release more files related to Epstein. He's very upset with them. Past supporters. The Justice Department published a memo this month determining that there was no evidence of an incriminating client list, prompting renewed consternation in MAGA world. Attorney General Pam Bondi, the Nazi, in particular, has faced criticism over her handling of the case. Asked in February, Fox News interview about a potential client list, Bondi said that it's sitting on my desk right now to review. During a cabinet meeting last week, Bondi clarified that she had been referring to a file related to Epstein, but there is no list. And then, of course, he does what he always does, talks about how great a job they're doing. Pam Bondi, I really think that she's done a very good. She says, I gave you all the credible information, and if she finds any more credible information, she'll give that too. What more can she do than that? I mean, honestly, what more can she do? And we do have bigger problems. He's trying to make somebody else not pay attention to it. He doesn't want you to pay attention to it. He doesn't want you to notice it. And his team, here's Pastor Mike Johnson, is going to play that in a smoother way. Johnson, Pastor Mike Johnson, says everything out there should be released, but then votes against it. So he's doing the very common Republican thing of going on the TV and saying the thing that the people want to hear, saying the thing that the followers want to happen, and then voting against it. Very common thing. Even the Democrats do this. Adam Schiff did this a couple of days ago with crypto, and maybe we'll look at that later today if we get around to it. But he says we need regulation and accountability for these things, and then he votes for a bill that takes away those things. So this isn't just a Republican thing, but it is a very common political thing to do. House Speaker Mike Johnson demanded Tuesday that the government put everything out there when it comes to the information about Jeffrey Epstein, a declaration that has appeared to put him at odds with his pal Donald Trump. No, man, nah. He will put everything out there that doesn't incriminate Donald Trump. He will do the exact same thing that Pam Bondi is doing. He will say everything is out, put out only the things that do not incriminate Donald Trump, and then tell you, he'll look into the camera and tell you, we did it. Mission accomplished, everybody. We got everything we needed. We got all the information, and he's lying because they will leave out the bits about Donald Trump. So there was one other one that I wanted to look at. Donnie's starting to get frustrated with this, and that's why I think it's working. We need to continue hitting him on this. We need to keep this up. Trump is frustrated at having to take the heat for Pam Bondi's handling of the Epstein files. White House officials and other Trump allies have said that the president, not the attorney general, has been the one having to answer questions about Jeffrey Epstein. One thing that's been clear is his feelings about it. This now resides within the DOJ. Another senior White House official said that they believe that the situation had stabilized when asked about the White House's views on Pam Bondi's performance. Bondi is not in danger of losing her job because she is loyal and well-liked by the president and the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles. These sources, as well as a person who is close to the White House, said, but Trump is no longer interested in taking heat for her. So I don't think they're going to get rid of her. She is a very calculated Nazi. They know what they're going to get from her. They know where she's going to be. They know what they can expect and what not to expect from her. She's going to toe the line. She's going to do everything she can to protect Donald Trump, and that is her job. It's not actually her job. Her job is the Department of Justice, prosecuting crimes, finding people who have broken the law, and holding them responsible. That's her fucking job. But not when Donnie's in charge, not when the president is a giant criminal. If the president is a criminal, then the criminal justice system works to defend him. That's their new job. They used to have a different job, but when Republicans are in charge, the job changes.
Hello human, it is me Canuch. I need you to press the subscribe button. I have to feed my many AI babies.
It seems like the powerful are protecting the powerful. Democrats see an opening on Epstein. I hope they do. That would be nice if they could. Internal polling suggests that there's a window for Democrats to use the controversy over the so-called Epstein list. And more than a dozen strategists, elected officials, and aides are urging them to take it. I am also urging them to take it. They might not. Well, let's see. Democrats are stoking the online flames of Jeffrey Epstein controversy. Internal memos and polling suggest that the issue is breaking through to voters because voters don't care about policy. They never have. The normie voters, even the ones on the left, care about feelings, about not quite stunts. I'm not calling this a stunt. I'm saying they care about drama. They care about the feelings. They care about the things that feel important. Page 712 of the omnibus spending bill does not feel important to you. Whether or not the president is a pedo, that feels important. There's a lot going on there. There's drama there.
Spectacle. It's freaking idiocracy.
Yes, spectacle. Drama, spectacle, the optics. What does it look like? How does it make you feel? Discussing a 1% versus a 2% spending freeze is policy wonkery that is important but not fun. Nobody wants to think about that. I don't want to come onto the screen and tell you about it. I can tell you it's important, and to get you on board, I would tell you about all the people that are going to suffer because of this 1% spending cut. Medicaid Cuts are boring to talk about. So what do you do? What do I do? What does the news do? They point to the person who's going to be affected by it. They point to the poor, the unhealthy, the unhoused, the miserable people who are going to be harmed by this government action. They don't describe the language within the bill. That's boring shit. It doesn't make for good TV. And most of the people care about the good TV more than they care about the words written in the policy. Policy is not where we are right now. Policy is only a thing you can discuss and argue about when we're in peaceful times, and we are not in peaceful times right now. Ruben Gallego accused President Trump of hiding the Epstein list. Good. Keep it up, Ruben. Good job. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries insisted at a press conference Americans deserve to know the truth. The Democratic National Committee last week launched an Xbot that posts daily. Trump released the Epstein files? No. So this is good. Keep it up. House Majority PAC rolled out a simp target list of complicit GOP members. This is great. It's on, let's look at it. Bunch of wieners. Nancy Mace, who is a blatant grifter, wants it released sometimes. When we're talking about Bill Clinton, she demands it be released. When we're talking about Donald Trump, she demands it not be released. Simps, I don't even think I'm allowed to say that word on Twitch, but we'll close that for now. They might get mad at me. It's trollish, conspiratorial-minded response to Republican infighting the Democrats haven't traditionally engaged in, which is why they lose. I'm sorry. The people like the simplistic, trollish language. They like the antagonism. It makes them feel like you're doing a thing. That can work. It will work for the normies. And then once they're in power, then you do the policy. You have to do the politics first, then the policy. The politics is what this is. This is politics. Policy comes after you win with the politics. You have to do it in that order. This is what Al Gore did back in 2000. I know I'm old. Back in 99, 2000, he talked for hours about the policy and how good he was going to be and all the laws he was going to pass and the things he was going to write down. That's incredibly boring. People don't want to listen to that. And if they have to listen to that, they won't vote for you. He did policy well. He did politics poorly. Could have done a better job. But the Democrats tend to think that policy is politics. They can't comprehend the differences. And they tend to lose. This accused sex trafficker, whose 2019 death in prison was ruled a suicide, who was the president in 2019? This is a thing that Donnie's been doing lately, is somehow blaming Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden for Epstein's death when he was in charge in 2019. He was the president when Jeffrey Epstein died. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Don't let him lie to you, trick you into thinking that somehow this was Hillary Clinton and her husband killed Clinton. No, he was in charge. He was responsible at that time. I just want to remind the American people that in February of this year, blah, 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 we already covered that. Interviews with dozens of Democratic elected officials, strategists, and aides cast the controversy as helpful not only in dividing Trump's base, but also illustrating the president's flip-flopping tendencies. Even on one of his core campaign issues, Democrats argued they can tie the episode into a larger narrative. Larger narratives. The voting population loves larger narratives. About Donald Trump's other broken campaign promises, and that's what Donnie was doing. When we looked at him, what is Donald doing here? He's tying the Epstein thing to the Steele dossier, which he has thoroughly shit on. He's tying the Epstein cover-up to the 51 intelligence agents, which his base knows, loves, and repeats. They don't know what the 51 intelligence agents did or said or wrote or signed. The regular MAGA faithful goober does not know who or what those 51 intelligence agents are or what they did. They just know they hate them. That's all they know. They hate them. The 51 intelligence agents, they hate them. Why? Because Donnie told them to, which is what he's doing here. He's tying the current scandal to previous scandals to discredit it. Dems need to learn how to do this. They need to learn how to do this. They don't know how to do this because they're bad at politics, which is why they lose. And in that vein, let's look at a Democrat losing on this issue. Where is she? There she is. Nancy Pelosi, about to do what Democrats do best: suck.
You know well, too well, the power of conspiracy theories. Your husband was attacked by a man who'd fallen for them. Is it your sense there's anything the president can do now to get his supporters to move off of the Epstein issue? Should he? Where do you land on this?
You know, again, this is a distraction. This is a distraction.
You can't just say everything's a distraction. It's a big deal that's happening right now. And if it were distracting people into not supporting Donald Trump, you should be on top of it, Nancy. You should be on top of it. You should push it. Call it Trump's Epstein cover-up every single damn day.
We have major issues right here with things we're voting on today in the Congress.
Policy.
In terms of the rescission that the president...
Rescissions. Do you know what a rescission is? Neither do I. I watch politics fucking every day.
She's probably in the files too.
She might be. And I barely know what a rescission is. She's talking about policy.
And the Senate have sent back over us to cut all of these resources out of helping poor people throughout the world to be America play its leadership role in soft
policy
power to keep us safe and to keep us healthy, so that we viruses know no boundary. And instead, we're talking about him, about this thing, and his own base has its own views of what the president should do. I'll leave it up to them to talk it out.
Leave it up to them to talk it out? Nancy, you should be changing their minds. Make them dislike him because of the things he has said and done. Point to his hypocrisy. Point at his lies. That is her job as a goddamn politician. Change people's minds. She does not want to do that anymore. Democrats don't change minds any longer. They count all the people, they put them into categorical boxes that they call demographics, and then they try to convince that demographic to vote for them through policy explanations. It doesn't work. It fails. Hillary did it and it failed. And we have been suffering under that delusion for years because they spend all their damn money on it. The consultants and the lobbyists keep convincing Democrats this is the winning strategy, and it's not. It's not. Biden was a fluke. Biden winning was an accident because Donnie did such a bad job, dramatically bad job, on COVID. There wasn't a policy involved. There wasn't demographics being swayed to vote blue or red based on the thing that you passed in the House, Nancy. Donnie fucked up COVID, so they voted for somebody else. That's it. That's politics. But she doesn't want to be a politician. She wants to be a policy wonk. Fine. Good. I like that about you. Get someone else to run for you, and then you tell them how to write the damn policy. Times have changed. She is too old to recognize the new universe in which we live. We have to live. I want her to be good at policy. I want the Democrats to be good at policy. I want them to say the thing and pass the bills that are written properly. But they can't do that if they keep losing the politics game. Let's continue listening to her do nothing.
But again, whether it's Jeffrey Epstein or Alcatraz, it's all off the subject of what they're doing with this budget that is harmful to the kitchen table, meeting the kitchen table needs of the American people.
I want to make sure I understand what you mean when you say distraction. Do you think that Pam Bondi going to Alcatraz is meant potentially as a distraction from Epstein, which has not gone over well at all with the president's base?
No, I think they're both distractions.
They're both politics, Nancy. They're both politics.
I think they're both. I don't think she's going to Alcatraz. I think she's planned to do that. But I think that they're both off the subject of what is happening, changing the character and the culture of America by undermining, by placing huge trillions of dollars of national debt on the for future generations to carry forward at the expense of the health nutrition, education of the American people.
She does not know how to be a politician. She doesn't know. She doesn't get it. She doesn't know what the game is. She's playing a different game and losing because she's playing by the wrong rules, you know? Is Pam Bondi going to Alcatraz a stunt? Yes, it is. Is the Epstein thing, if the Democrats hit it, if Ruben Gallegos keeps talking about Epstein, if I keep telling you to use the term Trump's Epstein cover-up, is that politics? Yes. Is it a stunt? Yes. Is it a distraction? Yes. Kind of. Yeah, you could even call it a distraction. I don't care. Call it a distraction. That's what politics is. It's the distractions that allow people to win, then do the policy. Nancy, this is why you keep losing. You don't know what game you're in. Imagine if there were an NFL team who just didn't know to kick field goals. They don't know how. They don't know what the rules are. They keep seeing this other team kick the fucking ball and get 3 points. They don't get it. They're like, how did they do that? I have no idea what that is. We're not going to do that, though. They'd be at a severe disadvantage. And part of that reason is that the Dems are completely useless here. If they weren't completely useless...
Field goals are a distraction.
Field goals are a distraction. That's absolutely right. Field goals are a distraction from the ground game, the running game that we've got going. You're willing yourself into a weaker position. Why does she do that? Because they want to be in the weaker position. Nancy Pelosi does not want to win. She wants compromise. She wants 51% Dem, 49% Republican split every single time in every part of the government. She wants 51-49 so that when they want to lose, they can just have one person bow out or choose not to vote and let the Republicans get what they want. Because she works for the same owners. She works for the economy, not you. She works for the credit card companies, not you.
She wants you to vote Dem. Buy Disney stock in STFU.
Absolutely. She wants Disney to get more money. She wants the credit card companies to get more money. She wants the capitalists to get more money. She wants the stock market to go up all the time. And if the 51% Dem-leaning proposition gets the stock market to go up, then that's what she supports. If the 49% Republican thing gets the stock market to go up, then she'll bow out and let that pass. She wants only capital to go up and capital to run everything everywhere forever. She's not a populist. She does not work for you. She does not work to make your life better. If she does support things like Medicaid and Medicare and things like that, but not because it makes your life better. No. She's not talking about that for you. She's talking about that so that the drug companies can make a profit from the government money. She's talking about that so that the doctors can get paid via the government. Pay, money, SpongeBob, my boy. It's all about the money, SpongeBob. That's what she wants. That's all she has ever given a damn about. And that means that she doesn't care if she loses. When you tell her that the people want to talk about Epstein, they want to hear about it, she doesn't care. There's no money in it. There's no money in talking about Epstein. There's no money in pushing the idea. If she pounds on it, she might win 52% Dem control and 48% Republican, and that is unacceptable to her. 51-49 is exactly where she wants it. So there's nothing in it for her. Why would she talk about it? She doesn't care. She cares about the economy. The end. That's it. And if it's 49 Dem, 51 Republican, that is also acceptable to her because she assumes that the Republicans will do the same thing that she's been doing. They're not doing that. They're kicking field goals, and you don't know how, Nancy. So, let me see. What else is... was there another one of those? Oh, and then we get the conspiracy theorists who are going to launder it. So let's look at our good old friend Alex Jones. Alex Jones is here to tell us how everything's going to work, folks. Here he is, everybody, telling us what we need to hear.
And all the rest of it, and then Pam Bondi gets it, gives it to the FBI, which I confirmed from sources. They sent it out to all the offices around the country to look at the file. They come back and say... there's a bunch of FBI reports and implicating, people in the orbit of Trump with no real evidence. And then Trump went, what the hell, another Russiagate? And so he didn't clarify that the first few days.
See, you guys, he just didn't clarify why he called it a hoax. He saw all this fake news about it because the FBI can't be trusted, except Pam Bondi's in charge of the FBI. It was the Dems in the FBI. So Pam Bondi and Donald Trump look for evidence. They find fake evidence from the Joe Biden's FBI, and then they call that a hoax. You see, when Pam Bondi releases the information from the FBI, it's good, right, proper, and exact. When Joe Biden releases information from the FBI, it's a hoax.
He just said, people need to basically shut this down. It's bull. And then he hasn't really clarified when he says it's a hoax, it's a Democrat hoax. He's not saying that the Epstein isn't a bad guy and that he wasn't involved in all this evil stuff with the deep state with no connections to Trump that are based in any reality. He just says it's a hoax. People go, well, wait, Epstein's not a hoax because Lane was convicted of this very stuff, and he'd been charged with it and was convicted once 15, 16 years ago of lesser charges in Florida. So Trump, I think, needs to be very clear that no, the Epstein case and the evil he did is very real, but they've been in control of this file, Brennan, Clapper, and all the rest of them, and it makes total sense that they falsified all these other records.
Why does Donald Trump need to be clear? That's what AJ said. Alex just said, Donald Trump needs to be clear. No, why does he need to be clear? He has you to do it for him. He can say whatever the damn hell he wants, and you will clean it up. It's what you're doing right here. Alex, you're cleaning up his horse shit. He is spewed horse shit all over the place. And then you sweep it up, put it into little piles, and say, look at this one, but not that one. Look at this big pile of horse shit, but don't look at that pile over there. That pile says Epstein. You're not going to look at that one. You're going to look at this one. This is what we want to talk about. This is how it works. I have organized all of the poop into poop piles, and you need to see this shit pile. This is the shit pile that we're paying attention to. There is no need for him to clarify anything because your economic power is dependent on being on his good side. Sweeping those little piles of bullshit into the right shape is your job. That is why the people pay you, Alex. That is why the people subscribe to you. That is why they follow you. That's why they listen to you, so that you can filter reality to them the way that they would prefer you filter reality to them. They have a list of preferences, and you give it to them. You bend and shape and twist and ignore reality in the way that they prefer, and so they pay you for it. That's how media works. I can't talk about every single thing that pops on the screen. I can't talk about every single thing that happens within the world. Neither can he. But we choose what we want to talk about by what we think is important. I choose it by what I think is valuable, real, and going on within the world. And if you disagree with me, you're welcome to go on over to the Discord and tell me what you think and tell me what you're feeling. Tell me why you think I'm wrong. Tell me what parts I could change.
Discord.
But Alex does it for money. Lots and lots of money. He needs lots of money. So when his cash cow, Donald Trump, starts saying things that his audience is going to disagree with, he filters it. He changes it. He said, he called it a hoax, but it's not a hoax. Jeffrey Epstein happened, and he did his terrible things. But what he means by the hoax is that Brennan from the FBI put out some information about Donald Trump, and that's the hoax. So there is no reality. There is no truth coming from anybody connected to Donald Trump. Any fan of Donald Trump cannot be trusted, because they are in a cult. They are in a fabricated reality that they have fabricated themselves. You can see that they don't exist within reality. You can see that they aren't doing things based on facts and logic. They are doing it to protect Donald Trump, and that is what Alex Jones is doing here as usual. The only thing he does is protect the dollars, protect the money, give the people the ideas that they want to hear so that they will pay you. That is his job. That is what he does. Am I doing the same thing? Maybe slightly. But I think I'm trying to get reality out there against the literal, gigantic, massive, nightmare, monster, fucking lie machine that exists within the media today. They do not want to tell you true things. Truth does not get you paid. That is my theory, and I prove it every time I don't get paid, which is always. If you lie to people, they will pay you. Someone will pay you to lie. Lies make money, baby. Lies make money. Lies make all the money. So much money. Truth does not make money. It doesn't. It doesn't get you paid. No one wants to hear the truth except for the disturbed masochists that listen to me and are in my chat. We're all masochists. We want the reality because it hurts. So if you want some more reality, hop in the chat. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're feeling. He mentioned Ghislaine there. Ghislaine Maxwell, the lovely lady.
As an aside, he kinda rocks the Lenin look.
He is looking like Lenin. Okay, yeah, I could see that. I could see it. Yeah, the bald head with the beard is a very common white guy trope. It is the best that white guys can look. That is the best they can do. I get it. And why do I not do it? Because I want to be different. I don't want to be the same as everybody else. That's why I have the sideburns, because nobody does that. Then also I hate having a mustache. I hate having a mustache. I'm derailing entirely.
Yes, make it hurt so good, yeah, baby, yeah.
This guy gets it. Crash of all, he gets it. We want the truth because it hurts. Truth is painful. Reality tastes like shit, and we like it. Bullshit is delicious. Normies like that. So don't be a normie. But yeah, I hate having a mustache. It bothers me so much. Like I can do the beard, and I will after Christmas when I get ready for my my Harry Duval cosplay for Emerald City Comic Con. But I hate having a mustache. It's awful. I hate it. It's terrible. It gets in my mouth. It gets in my mouth, and I don't like it. I don't like it. And then it gets in there, and then I'm eating lunch, and it just goes all up in my mouth, and I don't like it. So if I were to have a beard and no mustache, I look like an imam or like an Amish guy or Abraham Lincoln. So I shave with the mustache, and then I look crazy. So I shave everything else, but then I leave the sideburns because I don't know why. Why not? Nobody else has sideburns as nice as mine, so I might as well use them. Nobody else can do that. Or then I say nobody, but nobody is doing it because it's insane. But I like being insane. So anyway, enough rambling. Ghislaine Maxwell, that's what we're talking about. Get back on the rails, Waldo. Ghislaine Maxwell. Will we get Ghislaine testifying to Congress? Maybe, but I hope not. Why, Waldo, don't you want her to testify? It will be fun to watch, and it'll be filled with memes, and it will be a circus, a giant circus, a massive media payday. But she still has a long sentence left to serve. She will say literally anything to shorten that sentence. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. She will say whatever is necessary to make her sentence shorter. And right now, Donald Trump is the president. He has the power to shorten her sentence. He has the power, because he owns the Department of Justice and it's filled with Nazis, to move her anywhere he wants. If she comes out and says mean things about him, he will move her to Guantanamo Bay. He will move her to the detention camp. He'll move her to CSOT in El Salvador. He can, and you can't stop him. And even if you tried, the goobers on Twitter would say, why are you defending Ghislaine Maxwell? She's a bad person. She's a bad guy. If she says nice things about Donald Trump that are lies or truth, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. If she says nice things about him, he will commute her sentence. He will lower her sentence. She cannot be trusted. We know she was pimping young girls. Why would we trust her words? And I say the current president is Donald Trump because it would go the exact same way if a Dem takes over in 2028. If wild hypothetical, but a Democrat wins in 2028, and then they want to have her testify before Congress, she will say whatever they want to hear, whether it's true or not. She will go on a wild rant about how Donald Trump totally did these things, and she will paint you a deliciously disgusting, vile picture of all the awful things he did, and it doesn't have to be true. And the Dems will love it, and they will clap, and then they will commute her sentence. She is in a position of zero credibility, do not put her on TV. Do not let her testify, because she will use that zero credibility to appease whoever is currently in charge with bullshit. And you can't trust it. And if she were, right now, over the next couple of months, while Donald Trump is in charge, to testify before the House, the Republicans would love it. They love zero credibility. They love that shit. They love it. She would testify. Marjorie Taylor Greene would get to ask Ghislaine Maxwell questions. That would be insane. It would be the pure fucking Chewbacca defense. So you've probably heard of the Chewbacca defense. Marjorie Taylor Greene.
It'd be like if the judge was the defendant questioning an accomplice.
Absolutely. It wouldn't make any sense. Judges aren't allowed to rule on cases where their family members are involved. They have a conflict of interest. So Maytag would do the Chewbacca defense for Donald Trump through Ghislaine Maxwell. And she would be like, what would she ask her? Like, she would ask Ghislaine Maxwell. Maytag would ask Ghislaine Maxwell if Donald Trump personally flew one of the planes into the Twin Trade Towers on 9/11. She would say, she would ask Ghislaine if Donald Trump was one of the 9/11 hijackers, and then Ghislaine would say no. And then Maytag would go on Fox News and do the full Chewbacca defense. Chewbacca is a Wookiee from the planet Kashyyyk, but Chewbacca lives on planet Endor. Think about that. That does not make sense. Why would an 8-foot-tall Wookiee want to live on a planet of Endor with a bunch of 2-foot-tall Ewoks? That does not make sense. If Chewbacca lives on Endor, then Donald Trump did not fly a plane into the Twin Towers on 9/11, so he could not possibly have done any sex crimes with Jeffrey Epstein. And the Democrat Party is just trying to distract you from the real criminal, Hunter Biden. I call for the immediate impeachment of Hunter Biden. That's what would happen if Maytag were allowed to question Ghislaine Maxwell. It would not go well for anybody involved. It would be a fucking mess, and she would get so much screen time. She'd be all over Fox News. They would launder the shit and blame everybody else but Donald Trump. It would be a circus. It would benefit him greatly. That would be politics. That's what Nancy Pelosi, I was griping about her earlier, does not understand. Maytag asking Ghislaine Maxwell about the 9/11 hijackers to defend Donald Trump is politics. That is the game you're supposed to be playing, Nancy. Why is Maytag playing that game? Because when Maytag plays that game, she gets elected. And then she gets to write policy that hurts the people she doesn't like. That's the Republican game. Talk mad shit, get elected, put policy into place that hurts the people you hate. That is the Republican plan. That is the Republican game. That is what they do every day. Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't actually believe in Jewish space lasers. Nancy Mace doesn't actually she does hate the trans people, but she doesn't believe that they are harming people on a regular basis. She can look at facts to know that. She doesn't want to look at facts. She wants you to feel a certain way. And then once you feel that certain way, you will vote for her. And then she can put in place policies that hurt trans people because she hates trans people. That is the game you're playing, Nancy Pelosi. That is the game you are playing. Democrats, that is the game you are playing. Right now, all of us are playing that game. You don't have to like it. I don't like it particularly either. But it is the game that is on the board. You're in the middle of that game whether you like it or not. You live in a capitalist hellscape. You cannot escape it. You have to do some capitalism to survive. Now, what is the other thing that might happen? A special counsel. I think I saw something about a special counsel. Will a special counsel pop up? Maybe. Do I want a special counsel? Again, this one could go either way. I still don't like it. The person chosen to be the special counsel will be approved by the head of the DOJ, which, as we all know, is Pam Bondi, the Nazi. She would make damn sure that the special counsel is not actually given any evidence that would implicate Donald Trump. They would control everything he's allowed to do. They would censor anything that they don't like out of his reports. They will cut things out of the report, and he will be a team Trumper 100% of the time. Loyalty is all they care about. Loyalty is what matters to them. So they will choose someone as special counsel who is 110% a MAGA faithful diehard. That way he can ignore the things that he wants to ignore. He will put on his blind spot. The special counsel who is chosen by Pam Bondi will have a giant, glaring conservative blind spot. He will not ever question any of the things that Donald Trump has done. He will not put anything that implicates Donald Trump into a report because they only care about propaganda. The DOJ is ruined when a criminal is in charge of it. If a criminal runs the Department of Justice, nothing can be trusted that comes out of it. Even special counsels, even people who they will tell you half the truth and ignore the rest because they do not, because they're political. They're playing a political game. This is politics. Sorry, it sucks. It's not policy, it's politics. There is a difference.
Pressing the thumbs up button will release chemicals in your human brain that will make you feel.
What is this? This is Senator Ron Wyden. He is a serious senator who does policy stuff, and he's coming at this from a policy direction. This is a little bit better of a direction. New bombshell from my investigations on Epstein's sex trafficking operation. The Trump administration has an Epstein file detailing 4,725 wire transfers and almost $1 billion flowing through just one of his banks, hundreds of millions through others. So, this is a solid attack line from Senator Ron Wyden. He is playing politics. He's doing a good job. And he's using real stuff, real policy, real things to get it done. Money is real. That's what most people in the country care about. You live in a capitalist hellscape. Said it a minute ago. So you follow the money. You point at the people who gave Jeffrey Epstein dollars. Why did they give him dollars? What did they get in return? These are fun questions. These are dramatic questions. These are political questions that you could be asking Democrats. You could be asking who gave Jeffrey money. It's a very easy question. Donald Trump, how much money did you give Jeffrey Epstein? That's a very easy question to ask, and he will not have a good answer. Democrats, listen. Ask Trump how much money he gave Epstein and why. Then find out. Money is very easy to trace. Follow the money is the best advice you can give these people right now. How much has Donald given him? When you ask him that question, Donnie will do one of two things. First of all, he'll lie. He'll say none, zero. I've never given Jeffrey Epstein any money. That's a definite answer that you could find out. If it's true, you could follow the money. You could follow the wire transfers. You could ask Ghislaine if he's ever given her any money, given Epstein any money. You can find that out. Money is trackable. This was the 90s. This was before Bitcoin. It was a bit more trackable back then. So you can find that out. Then you point at the lie, again, driving a wedge further and further between his MAGA faithful and him, making him less trustworthy. They won't believe the words he says anymore because they know Jeffrey Epstein did bad things and Donald Trump has paid him. Why did you pay him? Then you can ask later, why did you pay him? How much did you pay him? Why would you give him? What did you get in return? This makes him seem like a bad person. Or the other option is he bullshits. I don't know why we're talking about this. What are we even still on about this? This is not even going anywhere. The Democrats are making this up. This is the Steele dossier. This is the Russia gate, and he's not answering the question. Keep asking the question at that point. If you ask him, how much money did you give to Jeffrey Epstein? And he says, Russia. Ask again. How much money did you give to Jeffrey Epstein? Steele dossier. How much money did you give to Jeffrey Epstein? Keep asking. Never stop asking. And when he tries to cover it up with that bullshit, call it Trump's Epstein cover-up. That should be the top of everything. The latest. The CNN should start its fucking programming with, here's the latest on Trump's Epstein cover-up. When MSNBC comes on the news, Rachel Maddow and what's his name, Chris Hayes, when they start their broadcast, they should say, here's the latest on Trump's Epstein cover-up. It's politics. That's how the game is played. And that is what it will take to win. So if you want to win, if you want to ever make policy again, Nancy Pelosi, you need to win the politics first. She doesn't know that. No one around her is telling her. Waldo's telling her, but she doesn't listen to Waldo. because she's dumb. If she did, she'd be a lot better at being a politician. She'd be much more popular. She listened to me. But nobody listens to me. That's okay. I like you. You're listening to me. I love you. Thank you. If you want, hop into the Discord. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're feeling. Go on over to the YouTube page, and you can watch all my old videos. I turn all of these longer streams into shorter videos. So I'll turn all of that into a YouTube video. I'll cut out the unimportant bits. I'll cut out all the ums and the awkward pauses and get rid of those and turn it into a YouTube video and give it a fun thumbnail and a thing. Go on over there, give it a like, give it a check. Click the subscribe button, click the like button, click the thumbs up, do all the things, and insult someone in the comments, because that's what YouTube likes. They like it when you insult people in the comments. They show my shit to more people. If you're in there insulting anybody, it doesn't matter who, you can go in there and insult random musicians, and the YouTube will then spread that to more people. That's what they do.
I am the algorithm. Click on this video to make me happy. You wouldn't like me when I am angry.